Hello guys, back again for part 2 of needle turn applique. We are on the last block. So what I did, because I was away in Queensland for a week, I didn't take it with me, so sort of been doing a little bit in the background. I got this and I went in the light box and did the needle turn applique, and with this part here, what I did, I'll show you. You've got the shape, and what I did is I folded within itself. I'm going to cut off a little strip here. I'm going to need some anyway, to say it was about that big, which it might have been. So I got it and I went like that and went like that, okay, with the shape, folded it in within itself. I put some of this glue on there and then pot it down. So that's probably the easiest way. Get a long piece is probably the easiest way to do it. So I might zoom it in on that way. I can show you a little bit, because this the handle is the trickiest part. So long strip, fold it in with it in itself, so you've got two edges. Make sure that it is like that, and you can do it. That's a really quick and easy way. And you also make sure, I've glued it down, that you tuck enough underneath. Okay, so those little red pieces are still from this, and so that will iron out. Okay, so it's still got the silk thread, which I'm using, and then just a tiny little pick up slip stitch. I need to got quite a bit of the thread. Have it up a little higher. Here we go. Yeah, this is what's a good thing about the silk thread and having something like this neutral colour. I got it quite a while ago. 218 silk thread. Is it YLI fine silk thread made in Japan? But if you go to your local, where you get threads, Quilt Shops or Spotlight or wherever it is quite a bit easier to do that. Now I am going to just give it a bit of a quick tuck here, and going to go around and sew that down. And I need a tiny little slip stitch. That's what's beauty about the silk thread. It's so fine, but strong. You don't see it. Tiny little bite-sized bits. Yeah, so that's when I did that course, that piece that I showed you last week. I bought that because it's what they recommended, and I haven't bought another one since. It's all I've had for all these years, and I did that a long time ago. Could easily be as long as 20 to 25 years, I'm thinking. I did a lot of the courses when my older son was young, and even my very first quilting course. That's how I learnt a lot of stuff. You go to classes. I was doing this quilting for my bed, and it was sort of like these different blocks, and we went there in the evening, and then by the end of the class I was actually found out that I was pregnant. So, and he's just turned 25 this year in July, so yeah, about 25 years ago, or maybe 24, because in the same place I did a few courses. That's where I made that that little hexagon bag, that I showed you. Yeah, just learnt a few different techniques. Went to a how to do hand quilting class. Oh, that was my friend can testify to that one. I was not happy, Jen. That was an interesting class. Everyone else is going along and I'm like, oh, I hate this. This is terrible. No, it just did not work for me. Where they do this, you know, where you're holding it and you get a really small needle and then you do this rocking motion. Oh, forget it. You know, the proper way to do hand quilting, and I'm like, you forget that for a joke. Just running stitch for me, that's enough. So yeah, I just didn't seem to get it. I could probably, I'm too precise. I think it was just annoyed me, and I'm like, well, it's basically running stitch. So you know, why do you got to twist your fingers around to do this stupid double stitch? Now this is why I love slow stitching. It just breaks all the rules and I love it. Okay, so even though you can see that red part, that's fine. Okay, we're going to go cut across and we're going to do the inside. So yes, some of you ladies out there could probably relate to some of the classes that you did. And that's me. That's why I can, you know, I've done a lot of classes. Been doing it for, you know, 25 years. And I can do stuff like this. I know how to do it. And I must admit, I find it a little bit more enjoyable nowadays than back then. I suppose I was in my 20s, you know, mid to late 20s back then, and I'm you're not as patient as you are when you get older, I suppose. You learn a lot of patience when you have children, whether you want them or not. Okay. Now, and yeah, so it just seems a little bit more enjoyable. So this is the proper needle turned applique, whereas we do a lot of, you know, just the raw edge, which I quite like. This has its place. Some things, it all depends on the fabric. It needs to be done like this because it's so fray. But then some people like that frayed look. So it's whatever you make it, I suppose. This is why I'm currently, you know, watching this course by Fleur Woods, and I think it's probably going to be a bit more freeing. She's quite, you know, very big into slow stitching and not having to, you know, stick by the rules. And it's about, what did she say? Something about, it's not, you know, don't look for the end result, enjoy the process. You know, joyful embroidery is what the course is called, and that's right. Rather than trying to, you know, hurry up and finish it, enjoy the process, enjoy the stitching, and, you know, the calmness of it. And that's all right when you're working on something for yourself, but when you're a YouTuber, I've got so many things I need to finish. And it drives me nuts. I think you start do these things because you love it and you want to teach other people, but then I get all these bits and pieces. So you're just going to have to be patient with me, ladies and gents, if there's any. You know, things will get done. I've still got to finish my squishy bag, and too many ideas is my problem. I've still got to start. I found it. Here's my seasons, and these are the fabrics that I've picked out. So mine's a bit smaller in one of these, so if I make it smaller, it's not going to maybe take as long. maybe. So yeah, so I've just got to enjoy the journey. Oh, seriously, did I just lose my needle? I Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, enjoy the journey. Take my own advice, Suze. And surprisingly, look at this tiny little hole, and you think it just would be so hard, but because it's silk, it seems to just thread really well. So I hope you noticed how I did it. I, went here, then went up there, going across, then coming back, and then you here where, you go over the top of it again. So it all works. And then I'm nearly finished. It's just got to tuck underneath these little bits. This is where the needle turning comes in. Come on, I don't want to break it. Which end is it? It's knotted somewhere. Come on. Yeah. That never sounds too promising when you hear this break. Pretty strong thread. There's old silk worms, and there's even silk spiders, but I think they get it from the silkworms. You get silk from the spiders making those webs. They're pretty strong. Keep on breaking it. Okay, I may pause because you got the idea. I've just got to finish on there, and I'll give that a bit of an iron, and I am going to trace around that. So what you need to do once that's finished, I'll get the light box and I'm going to trace that around, and I'll probably have it on a bit of an angle because we're going to be couching that. I'm also going to be doing embroidery on that, but we'll see how we go. I just hang 10. Oh, it's only been 12 minutes. Okay, I am back again. Now I've got the light box on and I've stitched that down. I'm going to turn it on, and the reason why, see, it goes that, I thought I'd try and, so if you're, sensitive to this annoying little light, look away. Okay, now's the time. Okay, I'm going to have it going on a bit of an angle, and here we go. So what we need to do is you just get your little light box, and like what someone suggested in the comments, my subbies are full of great ideas and wonderful comments. That's got their little round dot here. Okay, yeah, just get your phone and a piece of plastic. Where are we? Like these, and put the phone underneath it, and that'll give you like a little bit of a light box, which is good. Okay. Now I've done this before in a very early tutorial when, it's a long time ago, when I made my scissors case. I'll show you that in a second. Just busy concentrating at this point. Now do the same for here. And okay, I think that's it. Now we are also wanting to do these, and it's going to be a little bit harder to see. So we are going to do, there's a needle, an eye in there, And this is a pin. Bit of a rough idea where they are. I think there's another pin laying down. And a few more pins. And that might turn it off and just wing it. Okay, leave that. Yeah, there's a bit of a mark there because it goes in the thing. Okay, we got one here. It's just a line and a dot, it's not hard. And then you got one there. And then we've got another needle going into the thing, a bit of an eye, and that's got a thread coming out of it as well. Okay. Okay. I think that's about right. This one's on a bit of an angle. I think there's a third one here, but you know. This one was a little bit over. That's what happens when you draw yourself. Okay, we'll put another one here somewhere. Maybe another one there. They're basically going to be pistol stitch, which is pretty easy. So we need to do a bit of a running like backing stitch for that, and then a backing stitch to put those in. So now let's see if we've done this right. Got that. Oh, doesn't matter if it's a little bit skewy, if it's all good, because we're doing it with a that. We're going to go over there. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay. Now, quite some time ago, I did a tutorial here, and that's what I've done here, and it's made, I've got, this is probably my most sold PDF. It only cost $1, because you just get the pattern to make this and the pattern for the scissors, and you know how to make it is on the tutorial. It's coming down. Yeah, so that's why it's only $1, because you got to watch the tutorial, and the tutorial is quite old and was when I was you know, busy filming, you know, in the early days, and I didn't know how to zoom in. It wasn't the best tutorial. So this is good that I'm doing this again, because I can show you how it's going to be here. I think it goes like that. There we go. So we got the scissors. Now what we're going to do, if you got the pack, you've got wool. So we are going to get ourselves a wool needle and a nice big long piece of wool. I'm just going to cut it. Now the best way to do this, put a knot like that by hand and then pull it tight so it's becomes a little smaller. So that for the wool. Now what we need to get is a thread that is going to match that, and I'm thinking that's okay, or if you've got a darker colour, but I think that's okay. I've actually used here's another piece. I used Wonderfill, so I may grab that again. Okay, and have a look if I've got a grey Wonderfill that is going to match that, and if not, probably a bit too light. Might have a grey in the walls. That would probably work, but that's not the point. So this is the darkest grey that I've got. I think that might have to be the or that one. We'll see. I think the Gouda thread may be a little bit light, too thin. Let's see how we go, because you can, I have it here where you can actually, like I think I made it so that you could see it, but I think in this case it's based on these scissors, a little French scissors I got from my local quilt shop. So I've got a piece fairly longish. I'll try with the Gouda thread. It's a polyester, so it's fairly strong. Now I want to be able to have, yeah, that's a good thread, a needle. And try that first, and if I think it's too thin, it's not working, I'll go back. Okay, it's a fairly long piece, but once again, you don't, like having long pieces can be really annoying. But let's see how we go. So not only is this a needle turn applique tutorial, it is a couching. Now you've got a little mark there, but I don't know whether I'm going to keep that. See, because it's got that, so I'll have both. Still in, yeah. I might have to leave that on there. So I will start. I might even start it here. And once again, it doesn't really matter if you see the red. That's all good. Now, so I've got that. Now I have got this. So we are going to put that. I may have to give it a quick grab so it won't go anywhere, and we are just going to use that as a guide and couch that down. May work all right. And the reason why I got this colour wool is because sort of grey, scissors grey, and so you go across and then over. Move this, put this back in there. Cross, over. So if you have gotten the the piece for this, like the pattern, which a lot of you have gotten, I've sold up quite a few. This is what I did, and this is probably a bit more detailed and closer up and whatnot compared to the very poor videoing of the other one. But you can, I've been doing it for a while, so tend to do it a few more closer together when I go around the corner. Okay, come back up. So it's not the quickest process, but it is effective. Much easier doing this. Can you imagine trying to needle turn this? Oh my goodness. You'd be like cursing the screen. Susanna, what are you doing to us? Whereas this is so much easier. So much easier to do. So I have been watching Corinne's videos on, you know, her doing this one, and you know, this is the last one, and she's like got room left in her journal to do more. And I only did 9, and because I thought maybe people might have wanted to turn it into a quilt or a journal. So, but the majority seem to have been turning it into a journal, because it really is a good resource that you can go back onto. So she's been hinting maybe that I do, well, I've gotten to September, so then there's September, October, November, December. So there's 3 more that I could probably do, and that way it might finish up the year and we've got you know, extra sewing technique. So if that's something that you might want me to do, you know, say something in the comments. Yes, can you extend it until December? Or you know, if you don't want anything, you just don't comment. I know that Corinne would be all for that, just so she can finish her thing. But I was thinking of doing like felted like applique. My mum did this. It's really, because it's very vintage, my mum did it, and she made these beautiful little scenes out of felt. And it's like applique, but it's a little bit different to applique. Felt is you know, so forgiving, and it's like in wool and felt, in like wool felt. So I've got some really good books on woolen things, and I hopefully, if I can find it, my mum's piece that she made, which was hanging on the wall in our room for years, and I grabbed that after she passed. I thought I want that because it just reminds me of my childhood. So yeah, here we go. There we go. So that might be one that I would do. Then I was thinking, I should write these down. So wool, felt, applique or collage. That's what it is. So wool, felt, collage. And then I was thinking maybe the very last one I might try, that's December, maybe some stump work. That's another one I haven't done it, but I've bought a kit, and it's like embroidery on steroids. So that's why I thought if I leave it till December, you know, you might have a bit more experience between here and then. And there was another one I was thinking between here for November, but I can't remember what it was. So if there is anything in particular in the vintage sewing that you were wanting to learn, and I can try and teach you, let me know in the comments. And so it's only 3 more. You let me know, Corinne, what would you like to learn? I mean, this has been some of the stuff, you know, my first time ever doing cut work. I've always wanted to do it. It wasn't as hard as what I thought. You know, when you've been doing stuff in the sewing world, and even, you know, I think Corinne was a bit daunted by ribbon embroidery, and now look at her. After doing the course with Jennifer, she's really got her confidence in doing it, and it isn't really that hard. One should try. So I'm putting myself out there by saying stump work. It won't be anything real big, maybe, you know, a butterfly or something like that. We'll just see. Yeah, I'm going to be want to go to a class on how to do it when Corinne comes here in March for the retreat. I'm going to do a few little bits and pieces with her. And she just has got a night class where you just come along and bring whatever project you're into and she can help you with it. So maybe I might go to one in between now and December to see whether I'm doing it right. Yeah, because something I've always wanted to do. It is beautiful. Yeah. So I can't for the life of me think of the third one. So I've got two ideas. So I'm thinking you're getting the idea of what you need to do. We're just following it along, and when you get to there, I'll keep going and yabbering while I'm here. And then when I get to there, I'll show you what you need to do, and it's pretty much, you know, pretty basic. Maybe I was thinking thread embroidery. That might be another one. Thread embroidery. Thread painting, that's what it is. So, which we've sort of done. Yeah, in a little bit when I did the needle, when I did the ribbon embroidery, I just sort of did the thread painting a little bit in there. So, you know, if I can think of something that's going to be a little bit different. But the wool felted one, because I remember I've got to find that too. I made this beautiful little wool blanket. So it's going to be one where you use wool, you know, wool base. And you know, you can get some beautiful wools. I mean, this is wool. And just, you know, doing applique. And I made one I did a lot of sewing and bits and pieces from when my son was, because I'd waited so long to have him while I was pregnant, and when he was little, I sewed this beautiful little Winnie the Pooh blanket, and it's got little Winnie the Pooh, and he's got a balloon, and there's Tigger, and I think it's Tigger there. But I just used wool felt, which is so forgiving. It doesn't fray, and so I was able to, you know, make it a little bit 3D, and put some stuffing in his little body to give him a, you know, a bit of a round tummy, because, you know, it's Winnie the Pooh and he's got a little bit of a round tummy. Yeah, on this little wool applique blanket that I got for him. It's so cute. It's one of those ones that, you know, I've put away in my little box of treasures when I have grandchildren, and then they will get it. But if I don't have grandchildren, I don't know what's going to happen to it. It'll go with all the other little bits and pieces that I don't know what to do with. Okay, so when I was working on my Journal of Stitchery piece, a lovely lady commented, in 50 years from now we'll probably see this in a, you know, a museum somewhere. And I'm like, so lovely that she would say something like that. But I'm thinking, yeah, well, probably, because I've got two sons and they're not going to want it unless you know, my daughter-in-laws might want it. But yeah, I'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell. This is why I want a sewing lair in Victoria, so that, you know, in my will I can will my stuff to places like that, so I know, as in my crafts supplies and bits and pieces, so that I know that it's going to go somewhere where people like myself are going to be appreciating it and using it. Okay, when we get here, I'm just going to do a little stitch like that. I'm going to hold that down, and then you're just going to put it next to it and keep going and fill it in next to that. And I mean, it does take a little bit of time, but as you can see, I've just been sitting here yapping with you. Usually we'll get about 3 probably to go around. Like here will be another 3. You've got to remember this can iron out, so that'll go like that and like that. That one may only get the 2, so you know, so what I think I did last time, yeah, I think that got the 2 on the top and then went down there and that the 2, where are we? It's going to go like that. Mainly got 2 on there. So then what I did when I come back here, I just went up to there and then went back down and sort of until it filled in. So, and then when you go here, you start there, go around and then just fill it in, and then I either get a really tiny little button or I did a French knot in a, like this, did it in a light colour. Don't think I'm going to worry too much about that. Unless you want to do that, do it in a, like maybe a wonder fill, give it a bit of a highlight. Yeah, so that's what you do for the needle, not being the pair of scissors. It is quite easy, just a little time consuming, and as you can see it works okay with the Gutermann thread. So I'll go up to here, come in there like that. I'm just going to grab that. Having the Gutermann thread isn't bad because it's sort of quite thin and it disappears, and what you're actually seeing is the wall colour more, which is what I wanted. So here you can see 2 will be enough for around the top, and then coming around here and it'll be like that. So then when I go come back around in here, I'll stop there and then sort of really push it in, you know, and then I'll probably go down and go around, and you just sort of keep going until you filled it in. You can sort of see, I've done 2 there, but then I've come in through here with other pieces. Yeah, see? And just sort of pulled it in. So there you have it. So well, that's this part done. So if you can finish doing that, and then so next time I'll come and I'll show you how just, you know, do a little bit of stitching. That's going to be done with some Wonder Fill or some DMC, and you just do the back stitch for the needle turn applique, and then we'll put it into our book probably on the last week, which will be very quick. And then I'm going to be umming and ahhing whether I do the wool felt and the thread painting and stump work. If you can find something else beside the thread painting, because I think we sort of covered that, let me know in the comments. That would be really good. So I'm going to be busy continuing to do this in the background, and yeah, I hope you have enjoyed watching me and listening to me yabber. I quite like doing couching. It really does have quite a good effect. So okay guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you around YouTube. Probably the next video will be, better get started on my the floral seasons, because I am way behind. Well, I've got 3 months to do my spring, so at least if I make a start on it, that's something. Because I really don't need to do journal of stitchery, because I did that the other day, and yeah, don't need to do it. I'll wait until the following prompt to do that one. So okay guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye.